Alright, so what we're using today is the 75 grain boat tail hollow points, loaded over 23 grains of 4064, 130 yards, shooting at the block. So
okay, so this is what we were testing today. The Hornady 75 grain boat tail hollow point match. Shot out of a 22-inch barrel Savage Axis at 130 yards, and we had some pretty high winds. I was aiming there, and I hit left. And as you can see, this is how I brought it home. I didn't take a second shot because I didn't want to change the results. I wanted to make sure we had a nice, good channel. So I'm going to go ahead and try to cut this out. And as you can see, I was struck. Not completely on center like I was hoping for. Alright, as you can see, there's a chunk of jacket right here at the top of the block, and that piece of jacket $5 1/4. It's about the center of that jacket. So comes in, you'll see this expansion. I'm going to open it up here and hopefully get a complete view of it. And it did not exit. Now I don't get the same penetration. Alright, I don't get the same penetration that I do with the AMAXs with these boat tail hollow points. I don't really know why. I know they will pass clean through a deer unless you hit them, you know, in some weird angle. So I'm gonna try to get this right down the center here of the track. Okay. There is what I've been trying to capture the last couple times out. That is the wound track that these bullets create. Now, you will notice the bullet come to rest right here. And the bullet's so hot it actually will melt. So it'll stop here, and as you can see, it moved down. I am a little surprised. There's kind of a little bit of a delayed expansion compared to the boat tail hollow point, or the AMAXs. I mean, the AMAXs opened up relatively quickly, right here about 1 inch to a 1/2 inch, and then they open up and give you this nice channel, roughly the same length. So we'll get a better indication here. From the entry hole, and we're looking at to right here is 2 inches. The channel opens up from one end to the far end looks to be 7.5 inches. Okay, depth is a 1/2 inch on this side, and it's a little skewed on this side because it actually had pushed its way out. I believe the cavity would be larger if it hadn't ruptured through the top. If I was more in the center of the block, I'm pretty sure that cavity would actually be slightly larger. You can see it's blown out on that side there. The bullet came to rest the far edge of the pedal is right at 10 inches. So this is really what we were trying to achieve. Let's go ahead and get this guy out. That is a piece of the jacket here, and looks like there. Oop. I take that back. It went a lot farther. That almost exited the block. That's 11 1/4 inches. As you can see, there is quite a bit of fragmentation extended beyond this main channel, and it left lead the entire way as it passed. There is a large chunk of the jacket that was right next to the lead core. There's another very large. Pretty much they were all. So today's test was pretty eventful. Again, another day of really high winds. I didn't get the shot in the center of the block like I really wanted to, but we did get a better cavity this time. The cavity is actually larger than what is portrayed here, because that metal plate I put on top to kind of keep it from blowing out actually caved it slightly back in. So the cavity was actually larger than 1 inch, so it's probably about 1.5 to 2 inches. And depending on what area it is, the weight retention still, it did leave lead about halfway down. As you can see, if you look at that pictures here, you'll be able to see that halfway down you see where that jacket really opened up and actually exposed that lead, and from there on is when you see the lead markings. I've got more penetration than the AMAX, but the cavity was actually slightly smaller and more of a delayed expansion. So I've used these on deer before with 223, and I've gotten exits unless if you hit one right through the shoulder and it drills the opposite side shoulder, there may be a chance that it doesn't come out. But if you hit them behind the shoulder, and in my case it exited out in front of the shoulder, it was perfectly fine. So now these are grain under max, and I'm using IMR 4064 with Lake City cases. So if you have any recommendations of what I should shoot next, or what you think of my test, just leave them down below, and I'll try to get back as soon as I can.